What's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, is my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, terrific Trav, double OT. Trav, how you doing today, Daddy?
Hey,
Daddy.
What?
I called you Daddy.
You call me Daddy?
Yeah, I called you Daddy, man.
Hey, I am a daddy.
Trav.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know? You ain't the first person to call me Daddy. And you won't be the last.
Who's the first person?
We ain't gonna talk about that on air. That's right.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I called you Daddy, man. But anyway,
I know what you was thinking.
Yeah, of course. But anyways, today we are doing a review for Love, Death, and Robots, and it is a tradition here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks that we always bring our good friend, our friend that is up in Canada, and he is the host of the podcast, DA Podcast. You know, I've been a guest up there before. Trav's been a guest up there before. D's been a guest up there before, but all three of us have never been on the podcast at one time. And joining us today is our good friend, Stevie Finga Stylz. Stevie, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. Thanks for having me back. And again, we didn't mention this on mine, but we are doing a simulcast of some sorts. Right. So check out the video here, and then you can check out the audio on my feed. So we have a little bit of something for everyone. And the base will be the same, but, you know, it'll be different. So you got to check out both.
Yeah, check out
two
both.
edits. Two edits.
I don't think we've ever done this before, have we?
We've done it before.
With who?
With
the Oscar worst.
Now they're the Oscar worsty, but back then they was
drinking age movies.
Drinking age movies.
Yeah, damn. Ooh. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's been so long, man. I mean, I feel
it's
like we've all leveled up since then. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, Stevie, the last time we had you up here, you had a full grown beard, and it's just like then you clean shaved, and now you got it growing back.
Salt and pepper.
You know.
I know. Look at that. Oof.
I don't know. I mean, with me and Trav, I'm a tag champion again, and Trav just Trav.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. So
how come I got to be just Trav?
I mean, I called you Daddy earlier, so
you did call me
what
Daddy.
else do you want from me?
I mean, I'm producing a couple other podcasts that anybody will listen to.
Oh, there you go, Trav.
I'm working, man. I
didn't even know that. Like, you never tell us.
You
anything.
do know that. You just don't listen to them.
Outed, just like that.
So look, yeah, like I said, we're talking about Love, Death, and Robots Volume 3 that just came out. And before we get into this review, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And if D was here, he always says the podcast link is down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this review. This was by far my favorite season, or volume as they call them, of Love, Death, and Robots. Like, after I finished watching it, like I had hit Trav up, and I was just like, yo, every episode was fire. Like, there was no bad episodes.
That's not how it happened. Let me tell you the real story.
Oh, well, what's the real
story?
Here
we go.
He hit me up the morning we were supposed to record to say, oh, hey, by the way, I forgot to mention to you, we ain't doing it, so you watched it this early for nothing.
I didn't say that.
He didn't give you a heads up.
He did not give me a heads up.
That is not true.
That is 1,000% true.
Why?
Hey,
because hold on, because it
Stevie, I'm gonna send you the screenshots.
Hold on, it came out last Friday, right?
Right, and we was gonna do it that Sunday.
And then what was going on Sunday? I know I had Dungeons and Dragons. But because we had an interview on
you guys were recording that day too.
We had an interview, Trav, with your boy D Stick, as he likes to go by. And you can check out his interview and video interview it is here on our YouTube channel, awesome guy. And but Trav, continue telling your lies.
No, that was it. It was just the one truth that I was just telling everybody.
I guess And Trav, multiverse of Matt. Like, there's a dream world where I had that conversation with Trav. But anyway, Volume 3, in my opinion, it was my favorite out of all the volumes. And it was leaps and bounds better than Volume 2. Like, when I was watching Volume 2, because Steve, when we did the review last time, it was just like Volume 2, it was a lot of misses in that one. It was like one hit or so. But we were talking before we started doing a review. But Stevie, I want to pass the ball to you. Like, how did you feel about Volume 3?
Well, okay. I liked it a lot more than Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 1, I think I enjoyed more because it was just the shock factor, and it was the first time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it more, but I don't know if this even makes sense. I enjoyed Volume 1 more, but I think Volume 3 is better. But I don't think every episode was a hit. There are some misses in my opinion. There's just a few, and we'll get into it. I guess we could just go down in order or however you guys want to do it as well. But you know what I mean? There's a couple that are just like, you know what? I did not need this in my life. Give me back my 7 to 15 minutes. I'm good.
Trav?
I hear that. I think overall this is the best season. I think Volume 1 was just way too many episodes.
Oh, I disagree.
Volume 2, there was only 8 episodes, but out of the 8, there was really maybe 2 or 3 that were really top notch.
Bro,
This one is.
Say that.
I mean, this one is. This one is pretty out of the 9. You know, I think most people would say at least out of that 9, 6 of them are pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to know what's crazy too? Because I'm looking at the list of the episodes, and I do not remember the episode with the giant crab. I don't think
what.
Yeah,
that's probably one of my top 3.
So
yeah, it's a great episode.
So they didn't show that episode when I was watching the episode. So for me, they showed the 3 robots, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then they went straight to the one with the astronaut in space.
Nah, fam.
Yeah, it was okay.
Me and Stevie looking at you right now.
No. You want to know
this is the same thing that happened last time. For some odd reason, when you watched Volume 1, it was all the opposite, and my
time was all over the place. Because
I think your Netflix is bootlegged or something. Get it looked after, man. I don't know.
Yo, I'm looking at the list. I'm just like, I don't remember Bad Traveling. Like, where was this episode at? No, what I think it was. Now, like, y'all don't be mad at me, but
here we go.
When I was at work, I was, I was up in my little cubby hole and I was watching the first episode, right? And then I fell asleep. And when I woke up,
like 11 minutes.
Yeah. So look, when I woke up, it's like I want to say I was on episode 2, but you know how on Netflix it's just like, once you've already watched the episode, it just goes straight to the next episode. So I know I had fell asleep on the 3 robots, so I reset that episode, and then after I finished watching the 3 robots, it just skipped episode 2 and went straight to the astronaut. So like that's why I didn't even know. So my bad on that. So I'll let you guys talk about Bad Traveling with the giant lobster and all that stuff. Like,
let's start off with the first episode.
Yeah, let's start off with the
are we
first
just
one.
not going to talk about the first one?
Yeah, let's start off with 3 robots.
Jeez,
okay,
man.
so all right. For what I can say about this one, I was excited. I was excited that they started off with an episode with familiar characters. I know for season 2, we had talked about how there were really good episodes in season 1. And it would have been nice if they would have continued over into season 2, but it was just like season 2 is just like, no, like we're just gonna do something different every time. But when I saw the 3 robots, I was like, yes, like I love these guys in the first season, and I love
them so much you fell asleep.
What, bro? I was like, look, your boy was at work. They had me driving all over all day, and like I had finally got some time to rest, and I was just like, yo, let me put on Love, Death, and Robots. And when I put it on, I was watching it, then I passed out, and then I kept trying to wake up. And every time I woke up, I would start watching it, then I would fall asleep again. And I always got to the end of the episode where it's just like, who were you expecting? Elon Musk? And I was like, dang, I fell asleep again. Now I got to start over again. And yeah, so I finally got through the episode once I was actually at home to watch it. But no, a really good episode. I thought it was cool that they showed like how the robots turned on the humans, and I was getting Terminator vibes when they showed like the people that tried to go into space, like the millionaires and whatnot, and like the regular people tried to come over to the fence. They got crisp.
That's what happens.
But Trav, like, what were your thoughts on the first episode?
Yeah, I loved it, man. This it's like an adult Pixar short. You know what I mean? It's good. How could you not love it? And I think this show's gotten me more into enjoying short stories type stuff outside of Pixar and Disney.
Stevie?
No, me. Well, for myself, if you guys remember, this was one of my favorite episodes from season 1, and you guys actually bashed it on season 1 or volume 1. You guys really didn't like it, and I'm surprised you guys like it this time around. Maybe because now it actually makes sense, and it's not all just about the cats, and you know what I mean. Now there's an actual story attached to it. But I love it because I hate humanity. Humans suck. We're ruling this planet.
I hate
to see this show, like, show how stupid we were. Like, you know what I mean? I love it because that's what's going to end up happening to all of us eventually. Like, maybe not in this generation, but 50, 100 years from now, who knows? Like, you know what I mean? If we keep going down this path, but you know, I loved it. I love the humor, everything about it. Like you said it, Banks, even what'd you expect? Elon Musk at the end, like, you know what I mean? And it was funny because I was watching with my wife and she turns to me something like, oh, it's going to be Elon Musk. Then or I said it or something. And then all of a sudden the line is said. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Are these guys reading my mind? These cats?
That's right.
So yeah, no, I loved it. I loved this first episode. To me, you know what? I will say, I know we're talking about it first, but it was my favorite of this whole volume.
Okay, cool. I'll say too, like, to piggyback and go back to the first season, it felt like the first season was filled with a lot of cat references, whereas this season didn't really have a lot of cat references. So I love that they use like the cats in this episode. And you know, I was also getting Wall-E vibes as well, because like that's pretty much what happened in Wall-E, you know. So, and like how Trav said, this was an adult Pixar cartoon. So for this episode, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Trav?
I mean, I give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's super enjoyable for me. It's real quick, 11-minute watch. I stayed awake through the whole thing. And, you know,
love it.
It's just, I don't know, man. I had a great time watching it.
Stevie?
I give it an 8.5.
Okay. All right.
So that pretty much ruins now all the other scores, because you know nothing's going to go higher. This was my favorite. Should have started with this last. Oh, and I didn't even mention this on my feed, but we mentioned it on yours. This is a simulcast, people. So when you're listening to this, if you want to see our pretty faces, head on over to the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks YouTube feed on YouTube, obviously. And you can watch us talk about this, but it's not going to be exactly the same. You get a little bit of a different, so, you know, it's side A, side B to a cassette, or a remix, or a chopped up, or something, but it will be different. So check out both.
Right.
You get to see our
You can see the beard
faces.
trim going on.
Yeah, see, now I wish that we were wearing our Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks shirts. It's like, I got a PlayStation shirt on. Trav has a Dragon Ball Super shirt on.
You got to learn how to
Stevie the only one representing. Stevie's the only one representing. So, all right, moving to the second episode. I'll pass the ball to you guys because I didn't watch this one. Stevie, I'll let you start off with this.
Sure. Okay. Well, this one, man, we're going seriously backwards. This was probably my second favorite episode of the season. So this started off really strong. So maybe this is why then it was downhill for me, because my two favorite episodes were off the bat. And I guess I was expecting more and more, because, you know, it's like on anything, the best is left for the last, right? So it's like, okay, I was expecting more. So maybe that's why I was let down, but we'll talk about that later. To me, I loved it. It was, I think this was the first one ever set like in like a pirate vibe type thing ever in the Bad Robots universe, or whatever the fuck this show is called. Oops, I dropped an F-bomb. Sorry, guys.
You're fine. Everybody gets one.
But yeah, you know, it was set in a pirate universe, sort of out in the seas and stuff like that. And I just loved everything. It was suspenseful. Like, I don't know if you guys are fans of pirates. I sort of am. If there's a good story, I won't go out and seek to do anything pirate related, but you know, if it's on, I'll watch it. And just everything about how the storytelling evolved, the crew turning on each other, then the last man standing with the gun and everything. And then it's a great story about self-perseverance and what you'll do to survive at any cost.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see the infamous Troy Baker in a more of a big time animation role versus a lot of anime and video games and stuff. You know, he doesn't do a whole lot of big screen stuff, so it's cool to see Troy Baker come in this episode. I love the animation that they did. I love the crustacean creature. That's very, very Moana, you know. And
the way it communicated by taking a
so
corpse
cool.
and just talking through it, that was so cool.
So cool. Yeah. Pretty much, Banks, what this dude was take like the dead bodies, and he would talk through the dead bodies.
Okay,
dude, it was sick. It was sick.
Because it was based on an alien planet, I believe. They said that right off the bat. So, like, it was humanoids on an alien planet, and they were out, you know, I guess, scavenging or something. Who knows? Exploring, whatever, whatnot. And then this thing crashed and got trapped on their boat somehow.
You know, white people, they like to land somewhere and, go out and take it over.
So it was like...
so nothing typical.
So it was like Men in Black in a way.
No, not really. Because the alien wanted passage to get to an island.
Yeah.
And then they struck a deal, and it just shows how, again, humans suck and that we turn on our deal just to make ourselves survive and whatnot. And it's crazy.
I was talking more of like, how it was using people's bodies to talk and stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or more like the thing. Or more like the thing, how the thing would, take on somebody's body.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
good example.
Okay,
but really, like, Troy Baker as the captain, they strike the deal to, hey, you don't mess with us, but this thing's got to feed. So this is how they start turning on each other. As well, somebody's got to be giving up. You know what I mean? Who's drawing the short straw?
And I hate that friggin' game. I was going to bring that up. How suspenseful is that? And not knowing why they're drawing a straw. Right. It's like, okay, what's going to happen to dude who draws the shortest? And then you see and then everything. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Check that episode.
Yeah, you got to go back and watch it, dude.
I'm surprised. Yeah. I'm surprised that I missed it. I mean,
it's also my second favorite.
So what do you give it then out of 10?
Yeah.
Even though it's my second favorite, it's a 10 out of 10 still, because there's nothing about it that I would change. There's nothing different about the storyline or how it played out in the ending. I liked it from front to back. I thought it was really good. And what is it, like 20 minutes long?
It's one of the longer ones. But again, you just fly through it. It's
like an episode of a regular anime. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just really good. I really enjoyed it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it myself. I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay. All right, so moving along. So now we have the third episode, which was The Very Pulse of the Machine. Now, this episode was probably my least favorite.
Wow.
Out of all of them. Yeah.
Mine is down there too. It's down there. It's one of my least favorite. Bottom half for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Trav, you seem like, dang, like this episode was one of my favorites.
Maybe it's not. You know what it is? Hold on, Trav. I don't mean to cut you off. I think it's because maybe you could relate to this astronaut where, you go into the psychedelic world and you're just freaking out and you're like, yeah, I like this shit.
I mean, and the animation was just so good. There's no way that I could rank it towards like the bottom.
It kind of looked like a video game in a way.
Oh, dude, super cool animation.
For the animation. I mean, like, I thought the animation was dope. It's just like in terms of the story that was going on in this one. It's just I just wasn't really feeling it. Like I don't think that it was a bad episode. It was just my least favorite. Like again, like I said, like none of the episodes on this season were bad. Everything was good, and they were all better than Volume 2, in my opinion.
All better?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm not gonna go that far.
Volume 2, yeah. Like,
just wait. Just wait till we head down the list. There's a couple I'm gonna tear into, and you're not gonna like.
But I'm a huge sci-fi guy. I just watched the Riddick series again because I'm still waiting on the fourth Riddick movie.
Yeah, where he brings his family.
What's the one with Ice Cube where they go on Mars?
Ghost of Mars.
Ghost of Mars. Like I'm not saying that movie's great, but I enjoy that movie. I enjoy these kind of space movies and stuff happens to people.
Then you know what? You're coming back, Trav, and we're doing an episode of just sci-fi space-related movies because I'm the same way. That if next to comedy and horror, that's right up there for my genre.
Same here. Same here.
So for me, I would give this episode, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Trav?
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10, mostly because the animation, the story wasn't anything mind-blowing or anything like that. But again, to watch something like this, it really has to suck for me to not like it, to be honest with you, just because I am such a sci-fi nerd. So, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, me, I'll give it a 5. But you know what? I think every episode looked great in its own way. Like they all look unique, and I think this was the best looking season as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then moving along to episode 4, Night of the Mini Dead, which I enjoyed this one. I love because I love horror, I love zombies, and I thought that it started off very funny. I wasn't expecting it to go the direction that it went,
right?
Because of these teenagers having sex at the church and all in the graveyard.
we
they
got
were
our
able
sex
to
in there.
raise the dead. And I thought that was hilarious. And I loved that everything was many. I was getting what's the movie that came out on Netflix with Batista in it? The
Zack Snyder movie, Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Like I was kind of getting those vibes from this. I loved the Grand Theft Auto top-down view that they kind of did for this episode. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, what about you, Stevie?
For me, again, being an 80s baby, Micro Machine vibes. That's what it gave to me. I had a unload of Micro Machines growing up, and I loved it. And how it was in fast forward, where they're all talking super fast. It's like, and it's just going. And then you see them humping, and it's like, and they're just humping each other quickly. And then all of a sudden, it just escalates. And then right at the end, when everything ends, that fart, and it's over. And I was like,
yes, it was so good. I was crying laughing at the end. Yeah. Again, this is a Grand Theft Auto Minions, dude. This is a Minions for adults, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. So for me, this would be my first 10 out of 10. This is episode 4, and how many more do we have? We had 9 episodes. Okay,
9 altogether.
This is my first 10. Trav?
Yeah, as much as I enjoyed it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. You know,
these guys are scoring so high, man.
Well, you know, we enjoy and appreciate animation, I guess, so.
And plus, we got some people here in our rooms, holding us up at gunpoint, making sure that we give the right scores to the.
Oh, you got David Fincher right there on the other side of the camera. Zodiac Killer you.
Oh my God, it's just like the movie Men. Oh my God. But Stevie, what about you?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a 7 because I really enjoyed it. I think it was great. You could come in, not even know what the hell's going on and understand what happened. It was funny. It was humorous. And now even thinking back and talking about everything, I want to watch it again. And I think with the second sitting, I will probably rate all these a little bit higher, to tell you the truth. Because again, I started off with so high expectations the first 2 episodes that everything else was sort of a letdown. But now that we're talking about, it's like, why did I give it such a low score? This is fantastic from start to end. It's like now I'm thinking maybe I should give it an 8 or a 9. You know what I mean? So, I guess or maybe the mood I was in and everything. But you brought up a good point, Banks, before we move on to the next one with David Fincher. I had no idea that he was involved until I started deep diving and wanting to know who the actual animators are, the directors and everything. And it just blew my mind. I was like, oh shit, no wonder I love this. I loved all this guy's movies. You know what I mean? And then it's just crazy that I had no idea he was involved in this project.
All right. So now moving to episode 5, Kill Team Kill. I don't know what I was about to say. This was another episode that I really enjoyed.
With
but the cybernetic bear and it was awesome.
Absolutely
the animation, the gore, the way that it ended, where they thought that they won, and then
the best.
When the eyeball came out, I was just like,
I knew it.
I knew it. But no, it was funny when the one dude was dying, and he was just like, "Tell my wife, I slept with her sister."
He ain't say that's not what he said.
I know, but Stevie already dropped the F-bomb. So
I know you're PG. I know you're PG, but my show isn't. Come on, my friend.
Oh, okay. It's like, you tell my wife I fucked her sister.
It was so good. I was dying laughing.
Oh my God. Man. Bro, look. See, but that's the reason why, even when I play video games, it's like I do not like to just stand around and just chill or celebrate, because you never know what's gonna happen. I learned my lesson when I was a kid. I played Final Fantasy VII, and I had beat this boss, and instead of me healing my party after the mission, I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna run to the exit. Nope. The fucking no, there's another F-bomb. Yeah, a random encounter happened, and then because all of my party's HP was at low health, the enemy just used one attack, wiped us all out, and the boss was already hard as hell. So I learned my lesson, never to just stand around after you win a battle. They should.
How about this? Have you ever say you're playing again back in the day when there was barely any save points and you couldn't really pause in between anything because there was no home screen or nothing. Yeah. So it's like when you really had to go to the washroom, you held it in until you thought there was a safe spot. Did you ever put down the controller after a battle thinking it was over? Then halfway through, you're hearing through your bathroom that the fight's continuing, and then you come back and you see you're dead?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Worst.
That's why, man, it's like you learn, you live and you learn. But Stevie, like, how did you feel about the episode?
I loved it because to me, this gave off Predator vibes right off the bat.
Dude,
And that's one of my favorite movies growing up, the original, obviously. So you know what I mean? The cyborg bear, or as they kept calling it, the honey badger. And again, that's the other thing. Every episode had some sort of humor, either dark, either, you know what I mean, corny. It didn't matter. There was humor embedded in almost every episode. Maybe not the last one, I don't think, because I didn't really chuckle that much.
No, but, there wasn't really any humor in the last
one. But you know what I mean? Every episode was like a little bit of lighthearted scene, even though this was the most goriest episode too, which I love myself. But yeah, all the lines, the whole storytelling. But you know what? I would have gave this probably one of my favorite episodes, except for the ending, because it was all for naught. Because they all die anyway.
Yeah,
and I hate the two tropes I hate the most is everyone dying at the end of a movie or it's a dream sequence. Yeah. Get the hell out of here with those two things. I'm sick of those.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And to piggyback off of what you had said about it being like the most goriest, it reminded me of the one from the first season where they were fighting against Dracula and the vampires and whatnot.
Yes.
Like, that one was really gory too. But Trav, what were your thoughts on Kill Team Kill?
All right, so before I even dive into the actual episode itself, this episode is stacked with a voice cast. Legendary Steve Bloom, Joel McHale from The Soup, the legendary Seth Green is in it. This episode is stacked with a cast. It's done by Titmouse. I love Chris Praninsky. I love Metalocalypse and Beavis and Butthead and everything that he's done. Nerdland, if you ever seen Nerdland with Paul Rudd. Incredible movie. So yeah, this is definitely up there. And I'm glad Steve went before me because I didn't want to steal his thunder of this is for 80s babies, bro. Predator, Rambo.
That's another one. Good.
All those vibes, bro. And I'm digging it. I like the ending because they're all pieces of shit. All those guys are absolute trash. Why let them live? Why? You know what I mean? They're trash human beings. Kill them off, dude. I loved it.
Especially at the beginning when you see the first cartoon penis just hanging there. You know what I mean? That guy's the worst. That's the one who said, "F your sister, your wife's sister."
Yeah, and I think that's Seth Green's character.
Oh, was it? Okay. Because it did seem familiar. Yeah, because I did recognize a lot of voice, but I didn't go back and check out. The only thing I checked out was who was behind like the producing and the directing. I didn't check out the actual voice actors.
So. For me, I would give this episode a 10 out of 10. Trav?
Wow, another one.
10.
So this is probably my fourth favorite. Still probably going to give it a 9 out of 10, though, because like I said, there's really nothing about it I would change. You know, it's very adult humor. I love... You know, that's what that studio does. So I'm a fan of it. It's stacked with a voice cast. Again, Steve Bloom, an absolute legend. And just like Troy Baker, it's cool to see him come in and voice bigger stuff than, you know, the animes and stuff that really nerds like me and Banks watch, you know? So, 9 out of 10.
Nice. And for me, you know what? I'm going to give it an 7.5 because of the ending. Again, this would have probably been right up there with the first episode with the robots. 8.5, maybe even 9. It's again, I can't I sat through all this just for them all to die. Why don't you just tell me off the beginning? Don't even bother watching they all die. Like, what's the point? Like, I like to see. I want even though I don't, but I like to think they either ride off into the sunset or some other stories going on afterwards. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't want it to end because then to me that's final, and it's like, get out of here.
Well, bro, I mean, like, that's kind of what I was saying earlier about the one with the vampires in volume 1. Because, like, remember at the end, they thought they won. And then, like, it ended with them being in a cave with, like, more vampires. And it's just because it's like sometimes it's like if you have your heroes, you want to see your heroes walk away in the end, walk into the sunset. But it's just like,
but like Trav said, they're all, not the greatest human beings.
Trash.
So.
They're trash human beings.
Okay, but all right, so now moving along, the next one we got Swarm, which was a really good one. It wasn't like one of my top ones, but I love the story here with it's just like you had these parasites and like the humans and the parasites were working together and whatnot, and then it's just like the one guy's just like, well, man, we can get these parasites and we can do our own thing with them and breed them ourselves. It's just like humans being humans, like trying to take what they can and give nothing back, and they see what ends up happening. I thought it was a good episode. You know, you had one of my crushes, somebody who I've had a crush on since I was a little Banks, Rosario Dawson. But yeah, really good episode. I knew going into this. I mean, we're not going into this, but when the doctor was just like, yeah, like we need to do this with the parasites, we need to make our own and stuff like that. I'm just like, nah, y'all got something good going on right now. Like you shouldn't mess with stuff like this. And you know, he ended up losing the girl. She ended up becoming like the mother of the parasites and stuff. And what was crazy about it was it's like she was still in there. And also too, like not much time had passed since they did the stuff with the parasites for, you know, the swarm to be like, because you had your normal parasites and then you had your parasites that were what would you call them? Not rogue, but what is it called? I can't think of it right now.
I don't even know what you're trying to say, bro.
I'm trying. It's like like if you were playing a video game and it's just like you have like your normal parasites and then you have your field parasites, like the parasites that are I don't know,
intelligent,
not intelligent, but like have y'all watched Trav? You watched Promised Neverland, right?
Right.
Have you watched the first and the second season?
Okay, so you're talking about where
it's just like you have your normal demons, like you know, like you have your normal demons, then you have like the demons that are out in the wild, like they're more dangerous because like they're mindless, you know.
So it's like being domesticated versus non-domesticated.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Thank you. But I mean, but Stevie, like, how did you feel about Swarm? It's like sometimes I need the help, man. It's just like I know what's coming out of.
You guys are lucky. You have each other when you guys are talking to guests and you know shooting the you know what and all that stuff. I'm by myself on my show, so when I hit a wall, I'm stuck, and then I gotta move on and think of something else to say, so I don't sound like an idiot. So you guys are lucky, at least.
And the guest is just like, man, you know what the hell did I sign up for?
You said enough. This is my least favorite episode. Screw this episode. Okay. I don't care it ever existed. To me, this was lame. Again, maybe it was high expectations because again, sci-fi-ish, it's in space. You know what I mean? But then after, I don't know. I didn't like the story. I wasn't really into. I don't know what it was. The sex scene was even lame itself.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
The end too. It's just. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Move on, Trav.
Well, look, man. This is crazy. So this was my actual third favorite episode, and
awesome.
Did you like the sex scene?
No, the sex scene was lame. Honestly, with how wild the species stuff was,
right?
And they're having sex, you know, as they're like swimming through or floating through. I thought we was gonna get weird with it. They played it way too safe. It was way too safe.
Yeah, it was more tame. Like it's something that I could watch at the gym. You know what I'm saying? I can literally watch this.
Nah, bro, they should have like went in one of like, you know, the cockroach's mouth and like he was hitting the doggy style in the mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have had the parasites. They should have had the parasites like swimming around them,
or covering their bodies. So like they're naked, but the species are covering their private parts as he's like hitting it, and man. Way too safe. We could have got weird with it. You know what I mean? He could have gave her that white sauce. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, the white sauce.
They did it.
It always goes back to the white sauce.
No, you always go back to the white sauce. So Trav, what is your rating for this episode?
Oh, well, first let me talk about it for a little bit.
I know. What's wrong with you, man?
I thought you were done talking.
Nah, bro. So this gave me, I don't know if you ever seen Mimic, the Del Toro.
Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely has that Mimic vibe where it's like, hey, they're able to do this, so let's steal it from them. And then when the guy's talking about like, well, they're mindless. They just do stuff. So yeah, we're enslaving them, but it's not like we're enslaving intelligent beings.
Yeah.
You know, so I like all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And again, I love sci-fi. I love when stuff gets weird. And Rosario Dawson, enough said, man. You know?
Yeah.
Been a crush since Clerks.
Wow.
So, you know, I gave this episode a 9 out of 10 though. You know, it's not perfect. The animation was great. But if the sex scene was a little bit more wild, it might have bumped it up a little bit.
Fair.
Oh, and also that alien race at the beginning that they were making the kind of deal with.
Yeah.
I don't know what that alien race is. I don't know if they invented it. I don't know if it was inspired by something. But whatever that is, I need more of that because they were cool. They were cool.
Okay, how about this? What do you like? To me, it boggles my mind when some of these authors and writers and creators and stuff make up a whole new language.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and literally take every English word and translate it into something, whatever they thought. Like, how crazy is that if you think about it?
Yeah, it's wild. They did it on Game of Thrones. I mean, we
right?
all know Tolkien.
Klingon, there's another like language that everyone knows about too. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many out there that are so famous now. It's like someone created this.
Yeah, it's
how
wild.
crazy is that?
It's wild. And all I knew was Pig Latin in school. You know, I can't even get Pig Latin right.
Jeez. Banks, what do you score this one, man?
I would give this one. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Like,
oh, you're high too. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. You know, I love that. You know, like I said earlier, that humans always try to get more out of something, and they have something good going on, and then it was just like when the parasites wanted to do the exact same thing that the doctor Simon wanted to do. He was just like, nah, humans will never serve you. But it's just like, like they're literally trying to do what you wanted to do with the parasite. So if y'all would have just kept on, having a relationship that y'all had, then everything would have been fine. Right. So
it's greed. It all comes down to greed, man.
It does. And also too, and this is another reference to the movie Men, but I mean, it's just like if he would have just listened to, Rosario Dawson's character, and if she should have put her foot down. Well, I mean, she couldn't because they were in this little water type deal, but it's
which like, again, they never explained how they were breathing there, which pissed me off as well. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, like that was kind of weird too. It's just like they just gave them the orb, and I'm just like, well,
yeah,
that was weird.
It's like yeah. So I mean, all in all, I thought it was a good episode, but yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. So moving along. So
hold on,
Stevie didn't give us right.
Oh,
I can't talk about the episode. Stevie can't rate the episode. Jesus. My God.
No, I think he's just scared because he knows I'm going to give it such a low score that he doesn't want to hear it. That's what it is. All right. Unlike you, gentlemen, I am not a fan of Rosario Dawson. Her work, yes, but not in terms of looks and all that. It just doesn't do it for me. To each his own.
Okay.
But so that didn't bump up anything. And again, lame storytelling. Like I said, it was very sloppy. I understand what they were coming across, like the greed and all that. Great, fantastic. But I give it a whopping 2 out of 10, my friends.
Oh wow!
It was the worst episode of the season, in my opinion.
But a 2.
Woo. A 2. And the only reason why I gave it a 2 is because it was set in space, or else it would have gotten a 0.
Dang, man, like that's pretty low. I mean, well, I know that you've given,
I'm rough, man. I'm old school. I'm not like you youngins, man.
Me and Trav will give a rating like, oh, okay, y'all went high.
Man. You got to work it for me, man.
You got to work
prove
it.
I've seen
that thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Yeah, that's what he said. So now we got Mason's Rats, which was an episode I really enjoyed with
me too.
The rats being the not human like, but they were intelligent.
Evolving.
They were becoming self-aware. But I really enjoyed it. And then it's, of course, you had the Terminator vibes with this because the farmer, he was trying to get rid of the rats, and they kept on sending like these different robots in there to try and take them out and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. Stevie, what about you?
Yeah, I like this. This is, again, in the top echelon of this volume for me, top 4, top 5 for sure. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm not this is so weird. I don't know. Just it's like my taste buds. It's the same thing. Like I'm a fan of one thing, but I'm not a fan of the other, and it's like in the same family. But like, for example, I'm a fan of steampunk futuristic world in terms of like video games, but I'm not a fan of it in like watching it or consuming it or reading about it. Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I don't know. It's weird, but I actually enjoyed this. Like, again, sort of futuristic, but not, because you were still on the farm. So you know what I mean? I like that. Again, the steampunk style, like you mentioned, Terminator vibes all over the place. And what I wanted to know is, why did this guy have so many rats, and where were they coming from? I wish they explained that part of it. But yeah, it was pretty much a rat-pocalypse, as they mentioned it in the episode. And then you started, this is one of those episodes, because to me, it's hard to feel something for the characters. And I think that's where the disconnect is with a lot of the episodes for me, where I don't get like a sense of, I care about the characters. Like, you know what I mean? But by the end of this, I felt sorry for these rats. It's like, these poor little guys just want to live. They want to survive.
Yeah.
And then after even the farmer noticed that, and then they were on the same side. And I love how it just twisted around, because that I was not expecting that. I thought like the rats were going to merge into some Transformer or Voltron type of huge creature and just come out of that.
That would have been wild.
Like, you know what I mean? And just go crazy on the world or something. But no, that was a great twist. I was not expecting it. And yeah, again, love it. Like, and the moral of the story is don't jump to conclusions, because sometimes your enemies are not your enemies, my friends.
I love that. Yeah, man, I agree the same way. I like how he realizes that, man, these little rats, they got a lot of heart. They just trying to live. They got families like me, and you know, and they make some damn good whiskey. You know, so
yeah, he said that was strong. And like,
he liked that when he took a little sip.
Right, sitting there looking into the sunset, having a good old time.
Yeah, no, this was just fun. Again, a Pixar type of thing.
I was going to say, like Ratatouille or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good call.
No, but no, it was fun. It was really gory too, just like the one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yo, like when the
bro, he was messing these rats up.
Yo,
yeah, but it's
rat was trying to get away, and then the scorpion grabbed the one rat and then threw it up in the air. I was just like, Jesus Christ, man! Like he was destroying these rats, man. So it's like I can understand like the farmer and like, dang, like it's just like these rats, like they're not so bad. And I got this scorpion like Terminator just terminating them like nothing. And I like how like the rat leader had the tank and he just drove it right into the scorpion, and the scorpion was still alive, man.
It had a lot of RoboCop vibes too. Now that you're talking about,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like we invent these things to help us, but then in the end we have to turn on them because they're just like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was great from top to bottom.
Yeah, because I mean, like I was even thinking like, as if I was in the farmer's shoes, like I'm seeing what this thing is doing to these rats. Like, what can it do to me?
What's it gonna do to me?
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for me, I give this one a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ending. Stevie, I feel like it's on the level that you were talking about with the episode with the kill. It had a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? It's like the rats, they survived. Not all of them, but you know, they survived. So yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10. What about you, Stevie?
I'll give it 7.5. I'll go with that one.
Okay.
Not the best, but in the top 5. So if you notice, my favorites are like the 8s, and then just below 7, then everything else is just like, don't even bother.
Oh, and we have somebody get the confetti going because Stevie just ranked something higher than me. You know, we got a little celebration. I'm just giving it a straight 7. You know, 7 out of 10. It was a fun watch. Yeah. But it would never be, if I was gonna say, hey, you need to watch this series, watch Mason's Rats. I would never.
I agree. You're right.
I feel you on that. Or I mean, if you want to see like something, I feel like this is better than the yogurt episode. You know what I'm saying?
Everything's better than that yogurt episode.
Always harkens back to the yogurt.
It always comes back to the yogurt.
We don't talk about the good episodes, but he's got to bring up the friggin' yogurt.
The yogurt.
Well, I mean, I could bring up the episode where they showed how Hitler kept on dying, like that.
Oh yeah, that one too.
That one was hilarious.
He died. He suffocated in Jello. You know, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to just watch Hitler die a bunch of times? You know what I mean? I'm for it.
I mean, I'm for it too, but still, I mean, it's just like, and it was one of the later episodes too. But moving along, so now episode 8,
more,
and Vaulted Halls in Tune, which I really enjoyed this one. I don't know what it is about like the episodes where the animation looks
realistic,
realistic, lifelike.
I love it too.
But no, I really enjoyed this. I love that you had, you know, your team of Marines, and they had to go and save these hostages, and they go into this cave, and there's something more in the cave than what it looks. It's like a transformer. There's more that meets the eye. And as they go into the cave, they find like these spider-like creatures that have faces up there. It was giving me alien vibes, you know?
Yes, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
I was going to say, and it's in the alien family, but more Prometheus than anything.
Yeah, I can see that too. Too. But I was just getting the face hugger vibes, man, because it's like when the spider thing was on his back, and like when it flipped over and then they saw the face, I was just like, okay, yeah, this is crazy. And you know, as they get deeper into the cave, and then you see that like there's this giant like demon that's underground that wants to be released and is going to destroy the world. I was just like, yo, this shit is wild, man. This was another one of my favorite episodes. Trav, starting with you, like, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I love this episode. It's not in my top 3 or anything like that, but again, it's super lifelike, super realistic.
The most
a super stacked cast. I love that kind of stuff where, like you said, Transformers is more than meets the eye. You go in to do some saving, and you know, hey, there's something more in these tunes than what you expected. So yeah, I like that, and the ending was great. You know, she comes out with the eyes gouged out. Any sort of body horror, I'm into body horror, so it always makes me cringe. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
But my whole thing is just like, if she took her eyes out and she took her ears out, like how did?
Well, we don't know if she took them out.
I would assume that she did it because like the alien was telling her the same thing that it told her sergeant.
And the guy before. Yeah,
the guy before her,
and he went off.
Yeah, so it's just like how was she able to get out? I mean,
I was going to say, how was she able to get out? It's true. Like it's not like it's her house and she's walking around in the dark.
Yeah, because it's like she would still encounter the spiders if she went back.
And that too.
You know,
so and why wouldn't the mother figure or whatever send the spiders after her? It's true. It's and then I was, you know what I was actually expecting. To me, it would have bumped up a lot of points that she left the one bullet for herself, and then
right.
She didn't even use it. It's like, why even drop that fact if she didn't use it? Like to me, that was waste.
Why would you shoot the demon or the alien, whatever it was? Like, yeah, you should just yourself out. But with Stevie, like, what were your thoughts? So I know you already elaborated a little bit, but
yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys said it all. Like, I loved the atmosphere, most realistic one. Again, alien vibes all over the place. I love these sort of like space marine type movies as well too. Anything that has that in it, I'm all in. Like, you know what I mean? And how about this for a question? What's worse for you guys, spiders or rats?
Probably rats.
Really? Yeah, but spiders are huge, man.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like huge ass spiders too.
Yeah. I go with spiders. Yeah, like, are you talking about like the rats from the previous episode or these spiders?
Well, just in general, like that you would see
He's talking about real rats and real spiders, man.
In everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably it's spiders because it just depends on what type of spider it is, you know? I remember one time, like I had walked up to my car and there was like a giant brown spider on my door handle, but it was inside of the door handle. So it's just like if I went to open up the car door, it would have got me. And I was like, yo, where did this spider even come from? And I was at work and it was just sitting on my door handle. So I didn't know what type of spider it was. I just knew it was big and it was brown. That's what she said.
Do you regret it though? You could have been Spider-Man right now, man.
Nah, there wouldn't be any more level. It would have became leveling up with Trav. That's what that's what would have happened. But Trav, what is your rating for this episode?
I'm intrigued now.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because
these guys are way too high.
I ranked the other one a 7, and I don't like it worse than that. So how can I rank it less than that? But
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, but you guys are right. Outside of the ending looking cool, it makes no sense.
Right.
So, and I understand they're short stories, but it doesn't mean we get a pass for not having good conclusions.
Yeah, exactly.
So, now you're understanding my criteria.
Right.
And see, but my whole thing is that, and I hope that they learned their lesson from the second season, but it's just like, if you're going to end a short film or movie like that, it's like, you have to have a follow-up, you know what I'm saying? So then that way, it's just like, oh, okay, it makes sense, you know, why this happened. Like, you know, how we got the robots on this season, you know, it's just like, you have to give us a follow-up, or what they may do, they might do the route of, you know, we'll come out with volume 4. We'll continue some certain stories from volume 2 on volume 4, but also have new stories. Who knows, man? But like some of these stories, it's just like, I just want to see like what's going to happen next. So yeah, but Stevie, for you, like what rating do you give this?
Well, again, you guys have heard my rating, so if it's not in my top 5, then it's got to be at least a 6.5 for me. Sorry.
Okay, hey, I thought you were gonna give it a 1 because you.
No. Like I said, I enjoyed the atmosphere, everything. Again, the ending didn't really make too much sense, and I don't know. I just wasn't like the spider stuff was cool, but again, it really didn't make too much sense in the end. Like, why was like if that mother thing has the spiders in there, why haven't they left and started cocooning the whole world? And why haven't they freed the big like, I don't know, a lot of loose gaps in the story. That's why I brought it down a lot.
Yeah, and then I mean, it just goes back to, it's just like, well, the spiders just let her walk through the cave. And I thought it was interesting at first when it's just like they made it to the alien. And
yeah, that was all cool. Yeah,
and it was like the spiders had stopped coming. They was just like, oh, I guess that they can't come this far. And then it's like as they're climbing down the steps, it's like the spiders can come this far. It's just like that.
Right.
It's like, to me, it just felt like no matter what they did, they were fucked. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just, again, like I if you're gonna end it, like they might as well have just killed the girl too. You know, just might as well have just taken her out because
but then I wouldn't have liked it either. Like, it wouldn't have made sense. But again,
just like too many plot holes.
Only if she shot herself with the last bullet, because then again, that story,
which that could have been the original story they wanted to do, and Netflix could have said, no, we're not doing that. We don't even want to touch that kind.
Well, they don't have to show it. They could just the gunshot go off and fade to black. You know. Like, you know what I mean? And then you just whatever.
No, I feel bad. For me, I'd give this one 8 out of 10. Because I did enjoy it. It's just that like it did have like that plot hole at the end that just made me just go, oh, is this really how it's gonna end? Like I hate when I watch something and it's like, oh, this is how it ends. Like it's like, again, how did she survive? Like did somebody guide her out of this place so that way that she can make it? I mean, because we know that there weren't any other survivors in there.
Hey, you know what TikTok says? They're never gonna know. Oh, they're gonna know. They're never gonna know. She probably got some
superpower. Hey, I'm gonna start calling her Daredevil. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Maybe that's the sequel. On the next volume, it'll show how she got out.
Yeah, she becomes Daredevil. So now we get to the final episode.
I'm ready.
And that is Gibbero. Now, this one was.
Is it Gibbero or is it Jabaro?
Jabaro.
Jabaro. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not Gibbero. I thought it was Gibbero. Jabaro. All right. So I mean, like, this was one of those episodes where it's just like I love that there really wasn't any dialogue. It was just people out in the woods in Puerto Rico, and there was this figure that she was a siren, and you know, it's just like I love that when she would scream, like people would just start going insane, and
for sure,
you know, like they were dancing and, you know, swinging swords and whatnot. But then you had the one guy, and he was deaf; he couldn't hear anything, and
that was cool.
It was cool, but it was also weird how, I mean, well, she is a siren, so like, of course, like, you know, he wanted to, you know, make out with her and stuff like that, which, you know, that's what sirens do. I mean, she finally was able to get to him, but I also thought it was funny when she had ran up on him and she was screaming and stuff, and she was just like, well, why isn't he doing anything?
Right.
Why isn't he, cool. But hey, once he got that blood in him though, and those ears opened up, he was just like, I can hear, and his ass got taken out. He was too greedy. I mean, it's just like the episode with the parasites. Too greedy. I mean, he should have just left her alone. But Trav, like, what were your thoughts on this episode?
All right, man. So I'm gonna let you know this is my favorite episode out of the bunch. It's insanely like, to me, this is the most realistic looking episode.
I agree.
I love the aesthetic of the episode. There's a lot to unpack. Underlaying messages in this. A lot of I take a lot of like toxicity in relationships away from this relationship where, you know, once he gets what he wants from her, she's dead to him. You know, he got the gold from her and he left her for dead. And what happened? Karma came back and bit him in the ass. You know what I mean? And she was left with nothing after that. He took everything from her. You know, she can't dance. She lost all of her loot, her gold. You know, this was a very, very good episode. I watched this one twice, actually. I love the weirdness of the dances, and I love, you know, I thought the makeout thing was super sexy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, she's got to fix her teeth though. That's my only thing.
Hey, no, I love it.
I know, sharp
Come
teeth.
over here, girl.
Hey,
no, you don't want it around.
Oh no, look, man, you're talking to a boy that you're talking to a man that as a boy, I was super obsessed with vampires, and that vampire could suck on my neck anytime. You know what I mean?
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, she can take them razor sharp jaws that she got going on over here to daddy, as Banks
at
likes
first
to
until
say.
she started biting him.
Hey, I'm with it. Come get it.
Stevie, what about you?
Second least favorite episode. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Wow.
Okay, and this is why. I enjoyed the story. Great storytelling. I agree. It didn't need to have any dialect, nothing. You could understand what was going on. And I love the fact that he was deaf and everything. That was a cool aspect to it. Even him drinking the water and getting and even the way they told the story, like as soon as he gets his hearing, it's like, what the hell's all this? Like, and that's what someone who never heard before would probably act like.
Yeah, we've all seen the videos.
Yeah. Like, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, that was done perfectly. The camera cuts. Maybe because I'm older. Like, I felt like I was watching a WWE show. Too many camera cuts. It felt like I was having a seizure.
Right.
I don't know what the hell was going on half of the time. Once the dancing and all that stopped, then it was like, okay, this is my cup of tea.
I was going to say, you're talking to a guy that loves the Fast and the Furious franchise, and you want to talk about a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
That's the movie that got a lot of cuts.
About family.
Yeah, no, see, so if I think if it was directed differently, and I don't want to cut up the director because, obviously they're the director and I'm not, but if it was directed differently, I think, or presented differently, I think I really would have enjoyed it. If it was like a straight through regular type of animation, no problem. Even keep the way it was animated. I love that. Like you said, very realistic, very different from all the other ones as well. It was just like the camera cuts and just so fast, so swift. And it's like, and here I am trying to take notes. If I look up and look down, I was like, what the hell just happened? And it was like, did I miss something? But then I rewind. I'm like, oh no, I didn't miss something. It seemed like it just fast forward. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Other than that, it was great storytelling. And if the dancing part, I wasn't a fan of either. If they took that out as well, it would have been great. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't resonate with it. I didn't feel sorry for any of the characters. I didn't care. Like, you know what I mean? Again, she was trying to kill
I felt sorry
people.
for the siren.
I didn't, because she's out here, especially at the end when you saw how many bodies she's laid out over the years. I'm like, this bitch is a murderer.
But remember, these guys are conquistadors. Yeah. So they're not coming in to help people. They're coming in to rob and steal what you got.
Yeah.
The people that she's killing, they're garbage.
Yeah.
That's true too.
All right.
I could see that. But why is she wearing all the gold? That means she must have been taking the gold from the conquistadors.
I just think she's just a siren. Like, she's just like a monster, and
I look at her more of a siren deity, a goddess.
Yeah,
goddesses always got to be lavish. You know what I mean? She was born this way, Lady Gaga style.
I guess.
That's how I saw it too. It's just like that gold on her body, it made her. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
he took it from her.
I felt the hurt that was coming from her when she saw this. Like, she didn't have any gold on her body anymore, because that was pretty much her skin for real. And it's just like she felt like she lost her voice and
everything. She was messed up.
Trav is very similar to Belle. Like, she like, lend me your voice, and she just kept on screaming and screaming, and your boy, he ended up going down. He let out that one final dance, and that was it.
That was it.
For me, I would give this episode a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed the animation. Like Trav, like how you said, it was very lifelike. There were parts where I was just like, dang, is this even computer animated or is it real? But I enjoyed the animation. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the whole message of, if he would have just left instead of, taking the gold and killing, thinking he killed her, then he would have survived. But I mean, he got greedy and he ended up paying the price. It's like, I feel like the goal, like, for one, too, it's just like the Fallout reference, right? When you're playing Fallout, it's just like, you don't want to carry too much weight on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know that if I know I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to loot something, then it's just like, I'm going to drop some of the weight that I have so that way I can carry more. It's just like, this man was not only carrying like a huge satchel of gold, he had all this armor on too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know how hot it was, so he should have took that armor off and he probably would have made it. But I mean, he ended up getting dehydrated and drinking that water that he didn't know had blood in it. He didn't know her. I mean, I wouldn't have even thought that her blood was going to be in that water. But yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. Trav, what about you?
Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. Again, just great storytelling. I'm more than certain that this isn't animated, though. This is definitely a shot thing with some form of a filter to where it doesn't look so realistic, but it still looks very realistic. Something like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Keanu Reeves movie. I don't know why I can't think of what it's called, but they shot the movie and put a filter over the movie, so it doesn't look real, but it's an actual shot movie, and that's kind of what I'm thinking they did here. But yeah, just an incredible story, man. You know, this guy's a leech, you know, and took everything that he could from her and then disposed of her when it was gone, and in the end, it caused him to meet his demise. And you know, I like that stuff. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me.
Stevie?
Again, second worst episode. So for me, gotta give it a 4.
Dang.
Give it a 4. But like I said, maybe if I go back and rewatch all these, it might change my mind. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
Steve, you're gonna have to give us updates, man. You're gonna have to let us know if your opinions change on stuff, because
initial reaction
I know how
is
that
what
feels.
I go with.
What was that?
I go with my initial reaction, what I was feeling at the time, whatever. Again, maybe, like I said, I harken back to it over and over. I just started off so strong, and when your favorite things are at the beginning, like it's even, again, because I always have wrestlers on the show, and you guys obviously follow wrestling yourselves. I'm Benjamin Banks, being now a tag team champion. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It is what it is. What can you do?
And that's the cool thing about this show, is there's something for everybody. That's what I always tell people. At least with this show, there's something for everybody. So like, me and you found things that we both liked, and me and you found things that I liked, you didn't like, you liked, and I didn't like, because we're different people, and that's what I really like about this show.
Well, Trav, why couldn't you have said, like, you know, included me in that too? You just only included
I was talking to Stevie. I'm not talking to you right
Exactly. No one's talking to you.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just sitting here feeling all left out, and it's like, you know, but
okay.
Anyway,
how about this? Yeah. How about this? Now, because we're running short on time and all that, what do you rate everything as a whole, this whole volume, out of 10? What do you give it?
Oh, I give it a 10. 10.
Oh,
I give it a 10. Like I said, like there was only one episode that was like my least favorite.
Well, then how can it be a 10?
And because I mean, like,
right?
all the other episodes, like they add.
That's what I deal with on a weekly basis.
So yeah, I give it a 10 because I enjoyed this season more than season 2. Like season 2, I was just like, man, I was
what's
so
that got to do with
disappointed.
anything?
I was so disappointed. And like they leveled up. They leveled up so much from the first, not the first season, from the second season. And yeah, so I give it a 10. What about you, Steve?
I'll go 7.5, 8-ish. That's what I'll go. Because again, I think season 1 was like a 9. Season 2 is probably like 7 or 6. And this is, again, way better than season 2. So yeah, I got to give it, I'll say 8. Let's leave it at it. Even though I gave it a lot of low balls, but again, that's just my cup of tea. If you were to take those 2 out, everything would almost be 7 or 8 for me, pretty much.
Trav?
Okay. All right. Well, I can do math a little bit better than Banks and know how averages work out. You know what I mean? So
I don't have a letterbox.
I can't get. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because not everything's a 10 out of 10. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I don't think that there's any bad episodes. There's obviously some I like more than other, but I never watched any episodes and said that sucked like I did in the previous 2 seasons. So this is why this is my favorite season.
Well, you might as well just go ahead and give it a 10.
But that's not how averages work, bro.
It's not about averages. It's about what
you
want.
That's how
it's
the
about
rating
what
system works.
Trav, it is about what you want to give this. I think you should give it a 10.
Well, I think I should give it a 9, and that's what your boy giving it.
And,
bang,
and
right
look,
there.
Stevie, that's how leveling up Civil War starts because Trav didn't want to give it a 10. He wanted to give it
just don't ask me to take sides. I'm neutral.
Hey, look, D is already saying now. He's just out. So with that being said, thank you everybody for watching our review for Love, Death, and Robots Season 3. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this season. Let us know which episode was your favorite, which episode was your least favorite, and let us know the ratings that you give it. Stevie from the podcast, thank you so much for joining us up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. It is always awesome having you up here. Let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Yes, please. So you can follow the podcast on Twitter, the podcast app. You could email me, thoughts, suggestions, comments, whatever you want to talk about at the podcast app at gmail.com. You could also follow us on Instagram at Finga Stylz, and that's also my personal on Twitter as well, FingaStylz. That's Instagram and Twitter is usually the two I use the most. So when you want to see what I've been doing, former guests and all that stuff, you can scroll down through the feed. You'll see who I've talked to. Yeah, the podcast is strong, 5th year, still going. Haven't missed an episode since I started. For people who don't know, talk to MMA guests, pro wrestlers, people in the video game world, movies, actors, voice actors, you name it. I have them on. Most recently, I had Big Damo on. So go check out all those fun episodes. And yeah, and most importantly, please rate, subscribe, review on all major platforms.
Nice. All right, Trav, let them know where they can find you.
And you can find me on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm also on the Twitter at TravioSZK, where I'm also on, as Banks mentioned, the Letterbox, where you can find me ranking and rating my daily movie watches. And man, they gonna need a hero. The Siren needed a hero, man, because my boy done took everything from her. Where was she gonna find one at?
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this review. Make sure that you check out some more reviews that we have here on the channel, along with interviews and reaction videos. Check out our podcast where we drop new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description. And then the video of that episode is up here on YouTube on Fridays. With that being said, keep that pinky up. Stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace. Thank you for watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content on our channel. Make sure you check out our podcast where we release new episodes every Tuesday, and the video of that episode is uploaded on Friday. And you can find new episodes of our podcast on all podcast platforms. Make sure you follow all the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, we have a Patreon. If you're feeling generous and would love to donate to us, it's at Leveling Up Banks. And huge shout out to our patrons. We really appreciate you and thank you for the support. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.